it's Michelle from Pickle Hill Design, and I thought I would show you how I make this little paper booklet out of one sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. I used my design team sponsors beautiful images for Christmas. They're Christmas themed. AntiquePaperie is a shop on Etsy with lots and lots of gorgeous digital designs for lots of themes. These are all Christmas. She has lots of Christmas, and I decided to downsize some of these and use these images in the project that I'm working on. So I developed a template for a foldable, it just is one sheet that folds and makes 4 pockets and flaps out of real pretty paper. So the first thing I did after designing this in Photoshop, I knew I wanted to use a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, but the paper that I have does not produce the color quality that these images deserve, and it just it is washed out and off color, and so I need to either invest in some digital 12 by 12 paper, I don't know if they make it, or larger than that, and trim it down. But the whole point is to be frugal and use the most of one sheet of paper at a time. So I pared it down to 8.5 by 11. This is what I came up with. And to begin with, the first step I did was to cut out just the images. I just cut out the white space. I did have some portions that were meant to be flaps for the pockets, and so all the short pieces that you see, 4 of them, will be pockets. And so I cut the rest of all the white out, and this is what I was left with. So it is double-sided. That was a chore in itself to get it lined up double-sided properly so that it is very precise. And first thing I did before cutting it up, just to make it easier, was to score on all the lines so that when I folded it, it'd be easier to get those folds nice and sharp. The problem is if you cut this out first and then try to fold just this little nub of paper, it winds up being difficult. You just don't have the leverage that it takes to make it easier to do a very nice sharp crease. So I did pre-score while the page was whole, and just on any of the lines that would be in between 2 panels. I have to do it pretty carefully. This is 32-pound Canon Red River inkjet paper, and it will crack. And so just really gently I went over all the lines to make it easier to fold once it was cut. And then now it's just a matter of folding everything over. What I do like to do is round all the edges, all the corners. So I have a 1/2 inch rounding tool. So I'm skipping the pockets. They will not get rounded corners, but they will get a little notch cut out with, I don't know, there's probably a 2-inch hole, circle punch, but I just try to center it and do just a little notch, little cutout. just to make it evident that it is a pocket. And I tried to scoot the images away from where I knew I would be doing this. So that I didn't cut into the image itself too much. Or the little person, they're usually, yeah, they're all people. Oh, that was close. Okay, that's pretty close. And the other thing I will do before I start gluing is ink the edges, and I'm using gold ink. It is probably not even a name brand. Miss Sparkle, I think that's a Joanne, like discount brand, but I thought it was cute and festive. I really just want to do these pockets first because they will be difficult to, I won't be able to ink them if I glue them down first. So I'll just do these for now, and I will secure them. So I'll do the top two because they have nice flaps. And I'm going to cut a notch out of just this inside corner to make it less bulky when we fold it over. Oopsie. So for these bottom two pockets, I didn't have enough space between the panels to leave a good size flap to use. This top one is not bad, but the bottom one was not going to be sufficient. It's like a 1/16 of an inch between here, and it just wasn't enough for me to put a bead of glue down neatly. So what I'm going to do is use, and this is just regular copy paper because it's thin, is just make some hinges basically. And I fold it over and then cut a hinge because it's, once again, easier to get leverage on a longer piece of paper. And I need 3, 2 for the bottom one, That one has one at the top, and I'll need another one for here. And this is just shorter or exactly the same length. I need to trim that so that it's just shorter than the pocket is wide. And I'm just beveling the edges. And I'm just going to glue one side down at a time. And one more. Alright, that's pretty much it. Fold them in, fold them up. This comes down. So cute and so easy. I just have to ink all the edges. And I have a couple of pieces of ephemera from AntiquePaperie that matches these collections, and so I wind up having a hard time matching any other kind of other generic or Tim Holtz or Kaisercraft or any other ephemera to these images. I just feel like they don't match well enough to include, and I just have a certain aesthetic I can't go against that. Whether good or ill, it is what drives me or directs me in my crafting. So it's all just AntiquePaperie tags, really. And here's this little girl again, but she's right there, so I won't use her. And these just fit in to the pockets, and they just have a backing of just a generic kind of a background that she has in her, I think it's a winter themed journaling kit. How dare I have a rough edge? So that's pretty. one more, and I did find just a couple of things that I thought matched okay. And this is Tim Holtz flashcards, or whatever they're called. Word cards. This one goes in here. And then this was from Kaisercraft. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And I backed it with Tim Holtz tissue, which, because it was just white on the back, and it never comes out right if I just ink it. It's always, I don't know, I'm a poor inker. It comes out smudged or whatever. But that's it. Wasn't that fun and easy? And it's so pretty. This would be a cute stocking stuffer, or sadly, I don't think a gift card won't fit in it. I know it won't. And then you can fold up a $50 bill and give it to me, or somebody. And then I just kind of measured this way and used a piece of gold elastic to secure it closed. All right. So I sure hope you enjoyed that little quickie process video on this tiny little paper folded booklet, matchbook or something. I don't know what to call it. But that's it for me. Have a good evening, afternoon, morning, Labor Day, etc. Bye.